Let's build a fence. Not that you are a fence builder, but let's look at some of the flexibility of the Xtmatix estimating system. Our fence will be a 6-foot cedar fence with 4x4 posts on 6-foot centers and two 2x4-inch rails. Each end of each rail will be connected to each post using two 3-inch nails. The cedar pickets will be 6 inches wide and will be connected to the rails using two 2-inch nails per each rail per each picket. Remember, this task only needs to be set up one time, then can be used for every project in the future without a need of setting it up again. Let's begin by clicking the pricing button. We will use a description of 6-foot cedar fence. The estimate units will be lineal foot. We will use our standard markups entered in the last demo. The first material for a fence will be 4x4 post. The order unit will be each. We will enter the price and a 5% waste factor. Using an auger, 2 men could make 8 holes an hour and drop a post into each hole. That would be 4 posts per man hour is 6 foot per post, so our lineal foot of fence per post will be 6. The lineal foot per man hour will be 4 posts times 6 feet, which is 24. We will enter labor rate and then click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. Our next material will be concrete. Concrete will be purchased by the bag. Enter the cost per bag. There's usually a pretty good waste with concrete, so we will enter a 7% waste factor. 1 bag of concrete will set 3 posts, is 6 foot each, or 18 lineal foot of fence per bag of concrete. A man can mix 2 bags and set 6 posts per man hour. We will use a production rate of 6 posts times 6 lineal foot per post, or 36 lineal foot per man hour. Enter a labor rate. We can use different labor rates for different items within a task or for different tasks. Xtmatix will keep all of this straight for us. Click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. The next material will be rails. With posts at 6-foot centers, we will use 2x4 rails that are 12 foot in length. This will make 2 rails with no large amount of waste per board. We can click each from the list and then enter the price per board. We will use a small waste factor, 3%. Each 12-foot board will put rails on 6 foot of fence, so the lineal foot per rail will be 6. A man with a nail gun can put these boards up pretty fast, perhaps 10 boards an hour, or 60 lineal foot per man hour. Enter a labor rate, then click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. Our next material will be 3-inch nails. Nails come in a box of 4,000. Our order unit will be box. Enter the price and use a 5% waste factor. We will use 2 nails per each end of each board for each post. That is 8 nails per 6 lineal foot of fence, or 1.34 nails per lineal foot. A box of 4,000 nails will install the rails to the post for 3,000 lineal foot of fence. Nails go fast, and with a nail gun we could easily get 120 lineal foot per man hour. Remember, we already have some of the time that is needed for the rails. It was allotted with the rail material. Enter a labor rate, then click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. The next material to use is 1 by 6 by 6 foot cedar pickets. The order unit is each. Enter your price, then use a 3% waste factor. Each picket is 6 inches or 0.5 lineal foot of fence. A man with a nail gun can install 60 pickets or 30 lineal foot of fence per man hour. Enter the labor rate and click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. The last material will be 2-inch nails. They are sold by the box of 2,000 each. We can click Box from the list. Enter a cost per box and use a waste factor of 5%. We will use 2 nails per picket per rail or 4 nails per picket. Pickets are 6 inches wide, so we need 8 nails per foot. A box of 2,000 nails will install pickets on 250 lineal foot of fence. We will figure 90 lineal foot per man hour for these 2-inch nails. Enter a labor rate and click Add Criteria to add this criteria to the task. And this is all we need for building a fence. Click the pricing button to close this module.